And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coach Gerald Lami podcast. I'll be bringing you content with some of the best sport personalities around the world and sharing their journey with the listeners and inspiring the next generation. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my special guest for today, Cristian Montano. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me on your podcast, bro, Mr. Gerald.
No worries, man. No worries, no worries. Before we start, I wanna say thank you for taking your time out and sharing your experience with the listeners because I know personally you've got a deep journey and it's good for you to share with others and hopefully inspire anyone that's listening.
Yeah, this is all the things are about that to be able to share my journeys and let the
Mm,
world know and the listeners know that as much as we're sports people and we do what we do, we're still humans and we
mm.
have experienced a lot of things in our life and the journeys that we've been on.
Perfect, man. If we can just start from like the beginning, how it all started with you. Who was your first club as a child?
Obviously, I came to the UK when I was a 10-year-old
Mm-hmm.
and I joined literally it was a Colombian team, Sunday League
Mm-hmm.
football called
And you came
you've
from Colombia, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the team I joined when I first came to the UK was a Sunday League team called Universal FC, and for me it was so good because at the time I couldn't speak a word of English,
Yeah.
and the team was basically full of Latin American and Spanish speaking players, and it was managed by a
Mm.
Colombian guy as well called
O-
Isai Sanchez, who I'm
Okay.
sure
Where
you
was this?
probably.
Where was this
This
game?
was based in South London, and obviously it
Okay.
was calm for me
Okay.
because they could speak Spanish, so it made the life easier.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then from there, what was the next steps in terms of how long did you stay there?
The next step after that, I think it was obviously I played for them for a few months, and then there was like a Watford tournament
Mhm. Okay.
going on where obviously it's combined with a lot of professional teams like academies, and then you got
Mm-hmm.
the best Sunday league teams around the city and around the country really.
Okay.
And obviously Universal FC were playing in that tournament, and then he had the likes of obviously West Ham, Arsenal, Spurs, nearly every academy from London were there as well. And I
Okay.
did I did really well in the tournament. And after
Mm-hmm.
one game, I had a scout from West Ham approach the coach and said they would like to give me some trials,
Mm-hmm.
and took it from there really. And obviously I was excited, thinking, oh my god, I've not been in the country for long, and when
Mm.
I'm about to get a trial for for a professional team.
Did you know the size of the club of West Ham at that time?
At the time, I knew obviously the history behind it, like all
Mm-hmm.
the players that came through the youth system and how good they were in giving young players opportunities. And yeah, that's all I knew really, how good they were to give players opportunities.
Mm. Okay. Okay. And you was 10, 11, you said at that
At
time?
the time I was then 11, yeah.
Okay, so you're still early, still very young. So what fundamentals did you learn when you did sign for West Ham eventually?
Say that again.
So what fundamentals did you learn from West Ham when you signed for them eventually?
I think one of the main things I learned, obviously, coming from Colombia and being in Colombia is a chilled country where it's like you do everything at your own pace, isn't it? And
Mm,
being at West Ham, I remember the first game I went to, it was my trial game as well against Coventry.
mm,
I was literally
mhm.
15 minutes late into the game.
Yeah.
And then what motivated me was like when I got into the changing room, even though I was late, obviously when you're young, you just little things like the number you're wearing gets you excited. So I see number
Mm,
10 there left
yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
So I had like the number 10
Mm,
shirt was left there for me, and I was thinking, what number 10? I'm on trial. What?
mm, mm.
But obviously,
That's a big number as well. Yeah.
in my Colombian accent and my Spanish self, so I couldn't say a word of English. I was like, oh, numero 10.
Yeah. so 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 from there, that must have given you motivation on the pitch
Yeah.
to do, showcase yourself to the coaches.
Yeah, so but it was awkward obviously because I was late. So I'm running over to the pitch and obviously the game's
Yeah.
already started and then everyone's looking at me like, oh, this kid
Mm,
is on trial and what's he doing? He's late. And obviously
mm,
at the time obviously I didn't know how to commute in London. Obviously my mum went the
mm,
greatest, but she did
mm,
her best to get me from A to B, public transport, and obviously
mhm.
she didn't know where Chadwell Heath was, Little Heath was at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
which was
yeah.
and the nearest station was Newbury Park, Central Line, and obviously she didn't know all of that. So we had to
Mm,
figure it out. So that's why we were late. And but anyways, we got there, and then obviously I got asked to warm up. They lectured me a little bit, told me about punctuality and all them things there. And I said, obviously, I'm sorry. And
mhm,
so I was a bit nervous, obviously, because trial being late,
mm,
he doesn't set a good impression at the start.
mm.
But they sort of forgot about that, and then they asked me where I wanted to play, and I said left wing up front. And at the time, we used to play, like is it four games of like 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
So like obviously under I think it was under 12 at the time that when I went on trial,
Mhm.
and they put me on in the last half of the game basically, so the last 15 minutes of the
Okay.
game, last quarter of the game,
Mhm, mhm,
and I went on and I scored 2 goals and I won a penalty.
mhm. Oof, so you made a difference.
So I made a good impact, and then after that, they were very
Mhm.
obviously keen, and they spoke to my mom, they spoke to me, and I ended up signing a 2-year contract with West Ham.
What was that straight
And
after, like in
obviously,
terms of after that game, or was it after a period of time? Was you there
no,
on trial
after
for a little while?
literally, I was meant to be on trial for a week, but after that game, they just gave me a contract,
Oh wow.
and
Okay, so they were impressed.
yeah, and then from then it was just about learning the culture of
Mhm,
the club and what the club was about. And obviously, the big thing I
mhm,
learned was respect and being on time. Were two of the
mhm,
biggest things, and they were keen on developing players' education in like in schools and making sure everyone was doing well. And if you were doing bad in school, you weren't really play and things like that. So it taught me
mhm,
respect. It taught me how to to be early in everything I did in day to
mm,
day life.
mm.
So punctuality was key.
Yeah, which is important. It's important. It's important. So how long was you at West Ham for after that?
After that, I played for West Ham till I was 20.
Okay, so
Yeah, I was 20.
you was there for quite a long time. Maybe what, 7 years?
From 11-year-old till I was 20.
Yeah,
So nearly
yeah.
10 years,
Well, yeah.
nearly.
So yeah, nearly 10 years. Yeah, yeah. So it was a long. So most of your career was at West Ham. So you must have been a big part of what they might have seen for the future. What happened after when you was 20? What
Yeah, I
made you
think
move from West Ham?
what made me move was obviously I signed my first pro. I think I was 17 before I turned 18, and
Hmm. Hmm.
being around the first team was a massive experience. And then being sent out on loan, playing men's football and
Hmm.
playing in front of a crowd was actually inspired me, I'll say, and gave me the urge to play first in football rather than being sat
Hmm.
on a bench eventually, or keep getting sent out on loan, and eventually I wasn't going to
Hmm.
have the experience I probably gained back then by being a
Hmm.
reserve player,
Hmm.
or just playing reserve team football or under 21s football. And when I went out on loan and I went back to West Ham, obviously that like I love my experience on loan, and I got offered a new deal,
Mm-hmm.
and because I wanted to play first in football, and it wasn't guaranteed at West Ham, I decided to go find that elsewhere. I don't know, obviously at the time, I don't know, like you can't regret things in life, but it was just a decision I
Mm-hmm.
made based on the experience I had playing first in football at the likes of Notts County when they were in League One, Swindon, Oxford, Dagenham and Redbridge, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no. Looking from the outside in, obviously I've known you for a long time now, and I remember watching you play for those clubs you just mentioned, and I thought, you know what, this is a great move that you've done because a lot of players sometimes, like you said, they tend to stay at clubs, like especially when it comes to Premier League clubs, and they don't feel like they've got the opportunity to go to lower league clubs and showcase themselves because I'm sure that the level from where you was coming from to the football league was completely different. It was more physical, possibly, and a lot of times the football wasn't probably played on the floor, and more times you was chasing footballs rather than actually playing. But watching you do that mentally, you have to be very, very prepared to go down to the lower leagues. Would you say you was prepared to go to the lower
Yeah,
leagues?
yeah, I think because the life I've had, obviously coming from Colombia as a 10-year-old and
Mm,
seeing how much my mom struggled and seeing the way we had to live sometimes and the amount of things my mom did for me prepared me for
mm,
anything in the world, really, like to face a lot of things. And at that time,
mm,
obviously, regardless of the leagues that I went on loan to, or what was going on, it was more about I want to play football. And then at the end of the day,
mm,
it was still playing football. Obviously, it's played differently. It's more competitive. It's more there's things on the line, and there's more pressure. But it's more.
mm,
It's also there's more enjoyment on doing that
mm,
because you want to be playing for
mm,
things. You want to be playing in front of a crowd. You want to
mm,
win a game and actually feel like you've accomplished something. While the reserve league is more
mm,
whether you win or lose. It was like okay, we played well. There's nothing really on the line. There's not. There's
yeah,
not many
yeah, yeah.
things. There's not many things going on. And and to be fair, like when I was at West Ham, I didn't even know you could. Obviously, I didn't even know you could even go on loan to teams because all I knew was Sunday
Yeah.
League, and then it was Sunday League football, and then it was West Ham. My mum or anyone ever
Mm,
told me
mm,
like you can go on loan to other teams to gain experience. My mum didn't even ever tell me that you
mm,
could earn money from playing football. You get me? So I was
mm,
just
mm.
playing football
Yeah,
and
yeah,
enjoying it. And I remember when I first obviously signed my pro contract at West Ham and they told me what I was going to earn, I was thinking, what? You get paid for playing
yeah.
football?
Mm.
Like it was weird, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
I just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like you can call it ignorant or whatever you want to call it, but I never got told those
No,
things. You get me?
no, because when you're young, you like you said, you're playing for the fun of it. You're playing because you enjoy it. So for you, it's not for a lot of kids when they grow up, it's not a thing where you think about can I make a living out of this at the moment. It's just the passion for the football that gets you through. So, but
I didn't.
at West Ham, go on, say that again.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't even know you can get paid like playing football, bro, back then. Because I was even asking my mum,
Yeah,
like, obviously I'm studying, mum, and should I,
yeah,
what do you reckon I should do in terms of work? And obviously I see how hard
mm,
you work. Do you want to, can I come work with
mm,
you? And obviously
mm,
she took me to one of her jobs. Obviously my mum at the time was
mm,
cleaning in it, so she was like, yeah, you can
mm.
come, you can come work with me. And
Yeah,
I went to work with her,
yeah.
bro. And now, believe it or not, how hard she was grafting and how hard
Mm,
the job was, I thought, oh my God, mum, is there
mm,
anything else I can do in life instead of this?
mm, mm,
Because it is too hard, you get me? And she said, well, focus on football and then you'll see maybe that can take you somewhere. But even though she never told me you can earn a living out of it, you can earn a career out of football, you get me? And
yeah,
yeah,
no, that's amazing. It's amazing. So you've spoken about your mum, obviously, but also me speaking to a lot of players that have played at a high level. And one thing in common that everyone has is that support mechanism. How important for you is it to have someone there just to support you when you're going through times that are a bit hard, difficult for you?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, obviously, throughout my whole life, I just had my mum up until now that basically I
Mm-hmm.
got a message to get me that supports me as well. But back
Mm-hmm.
then, my mum, my mum's been my rock to get me. And
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of people in my family obviously doubting me. Everyone saying just focus
Mm-hmm.
on studying, which I did,
Mm-hmm.
and saying that you're never gonna make a living out of the game. Football, you're just wasting your time. No one really in my family ever supported me like that. But then my mum stuck
Mm-hmm.
through thick and thin, and she believed in me. And she would obviously to see her standing on the rain or windy days and having to travel from like North London to South London
Mm-hmm.
like every like once twice a week, and then obviously game days, away days, she'll come with me, stand in the rain, and it meant a lot. You get me, to have that support there. And I felt like I had to, at the time, I had to obviously make all
I
that
thought that
work
was
that my
a
mum's,
motivation.
yeah, it was my motivation,
Yeah,
and to
yeah.
make all the work that my mum put in not to go to waste.
Mm. And what about through football? Is there anyone in the football community that's kind of supported you through,
Obviously,
any tough times?
you had the likes of yourself and Dan
Mm-hmm.
Williams. Um, Obviously, when I went through a rough patch in my career, I had
Mm-hmm.
I had really no one there. You get me, and to then have the
Mm-hmm.
likes of yourself and Dan Williams and a friend of two friends and other two friends, one called John and another one called Yusuf, to tell me
Mm-hmm.
to believe in myself. And I remember even that day that I had no boots, and then you came through them Pumas, and I've never ever put a pair of Pumas on my feet, fam. And I was just grateful to
Yeah.
have boots again. You get me? And obviously,
Mm-hmm.
it shows that no matter what you go through, and if you still got the support and genuine support from your friends or even two people, it doesn't matter who it is, but if you've got genuine support from someone, it gives you that bit of hope and belief again. And obviously, my mum showed that
For
hope and
sure.
belief in me when I was younger, and then obviously when I was already a professional footballer, to then have, and I went through the hard time I went through, to have the support that I had from you guys meant a lot and made me believe
No,
again in myself.
amazing. No, amazing, amazing, man. Your journey is inspiring, man, and I'm sure, again, like we said at the beginning, hopefully whoever's listening to it, they'll use this as a motivation as well, and just show to everyone that no matter what you're going through, there's always hope and there's always a will to make things happen if you want to make it happen as well. Because as much as, for instance, the likes of myself or Dan or any other friends that you had around you, fundamentally it comes down to you whether you want to do it or not. So props to you, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's the big thing you get. Like you can have as much of support as you can around you, but then if you don't believe in yourself and your
Mm,
mindset's not right, then obviously you're not gonna
mm,
get out of the position you're in. You have to
mm,
dig deep and speak to your inner self, like I did. Obviously, I was saying to myself,
mm,
I've got the likes of obviously Gerald, Dan, obviously,
mm,
to gave me a pair of boots, and
mm,
my boy John, who is
mm,
training me at the gym that he works at for free when I
mm,
had nowhere else to go. Like, he made me believe that I could get back into the game.
mm. No, it's amazing, man. So going back to your football journey, I'm sure you've gone through, through a lot of coaches, through a lot of managers. What would you say you're looking for in a coach as a player?
I think as a player, from a coach, you look for honesty in terms of
Hmm.
where you're acting in a team, their plans. You also look for them to be good, like in a one-to-one management, be able to
Mm-hmm.
tell you things how they are. Like I'm one of them players that if I'm doing something wrong, I'd rather be told in my face and be
Mm-hmm.
told you're not playing because you say like you was rubbish last game or this has happened, or other than you get managers that would just not play you and then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
won't say the reason why. Obviously, sometimes you got to understand why, innit? Because they might feel
Yeah.
like they're gonna hurt the players' feelings, they're gonna get them down, and so because some players, don't get me wrong, can't handle negative
Mm-hmm.
comments or constructive comments.
Mm-hmm.
Some players don't tend to take criticism well. So a lot of managers tend to hold back from doing that. But for myself, I rather have that because then I know where I stand and I know like,
Mm-hmm.
where I need to improve or what I did wrong. Even though I know when I've had a bad game, because I always go home and debrief with a
Mm-hmm.
live coach that I've got, and we go for the
Okay.
game, and I'll tell him I did this wrong, I done that wrong. So I know if I don't play it, it's for that reason. But now in the
Mm-hmm.
last say couple of years since I've had the live coach, I've
Mm-hmm.
been in the team more than I was back in the days, and that was because
Okay.
I never used to work on myself in terms of mentally. I used to finish the game
Mm-hmm.
and go home, and that was it. Game's done. What can I do now? I go home and I think about the game and I focus on what I did well rather than what I didn't do so well to then
Mm-hmm.
try and improve that and go to the next step.
Mm-hmm. Which is important. It's important to self-evaluate rather than always looking for other people's to validate you or other
Yeah,
people's opinions. So that's like you said, and you've seen a difference, in terms of your game and in terms of everything. So it's important. It'll be good for the listeners to listen to that as well and understand that, but maybe not everybody will have a life. So for those that don't understand, what is a life coach?
say that last bit, bro.
I was saying for those that don't really know what a life coach is, what could explain to people what that might be or the process of it.
For what?
A life coach. Can you hear me?
Yeah, say that again. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. What's the process of getting like a life coach?
Life coach, obviously, for myself, it was like, because I was going through a hard time in my life where I was caught up in this world, and my mindset was all about blaming others
Hmm.
rather than evaluating myself.
Hmm.
I was always saying I'm having a bad day due to this because certain and certain soul said this about me. And then
Hmm.
I got talking to one of my friends, a teammate called Emmanuel Oyeleke at Port Vale, and
Hmm.
he said, "Look, bro, I've got this guy I've been talking to when I had my bad knee injury. Like I found him, and then he's so helpful." And
Hmm.
so I thought, I'm gonna give this a go. So then I ended up getting the guy's number. I spoke to him the first time, and he changed my mindset completely from the first
Hmm.
conversation I had with him. And he basically said in football, because as footballers, we always tend to, if you misplace a pass, for example,
Hmm.
I used to beat myself up for that, and I used to go, yeah, but I gave the ball away. And
Hmm.
then he said, well, did you do that on purpose? I said, no, I was trying to like play it to the striker.
Hmm.
But then he got, misplaced the pass. He said, no, you didn't. You was trying to do something positive. But what you got to realize, Christian, that you're not playing against mannequins. You're playing against other human beings that are trying to stop you from doing those things. And you're also trying to stop the other team from breaking you through, from making those passes,
Hmm.
from scoring a goal. So what you got
Hmm.
to see it as is what can you do better in terms of
Hmm.
what was your mindset like, your body position, how was your technique? So then you got to evaluate those things. Was that pass the right option, or you could have looked elsewhere? So now I work on my mindset going into games. and I've got obviously keywords that I think about and visualize, and they are to remain calm, to remain excited, to focus on playing total football, and to be verbal on a pitch the right way that I can get through to my friends, to my teammates without causing an argument on the pitch. Because obviously you get it a lot in football that you tell someone something, but then if you say in the wrong manner, in the wrong way, you end up causing an argument and you end up arguing with your teammates for like 5-10 seconds, telling each other to F off and that when the game's still going on. So I've been working a lot of things, like a lot of techniques that I can take into games and not to beat myself down when I misplace a pass, because obviously I don't go into games wanting to do the wrong things. I go into games to try and do the right things, which a lot of people and a lot of football fans would. You see it all the time when someone gives a ball away, they go mad. They say, "Oh, he done that on purpose," or things like that. Or when the team loses a game, "Oh, they've lost that on purpose." No, I don't like. I know I don't go into games to have a bad game. Sometimes things don't go as planned. Sometimes things don't go as I want them to go. But my job is to remain calm and still excited to look for the ball and try that again. And I've made a huge improvement. Like this season, for example, for myself, the past few seasons I've started played 15 games. Now this season I think I've played 37 games and I started 36 of those games. And one sub appearance was made the first game of the season. And after that, I started nearly every game that I've been available for.
Wow, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. So before you moved to Port Vale, you went back to Colombia to play football. What did you learn from your time there?
From my time in Colombia, I learned what real pressure is. I learned to respect fans more. I've always respected fans, but I learned to value fans even more. The things fans did in Colombia to go watch a football game was incredible. The amount of things they sacrificed. You would see, say, like for example, we're playing in say like in Scotland. Obviously, we would fly as a team. We would fly, but then on the way to the airport on the team coach, we would see fans walking on the motorway 2 days, a day before the game.
Wow.
So then it made me realize what certain fans go through to get to the game to watch the team that they love. And that sort of taught me a lot. And I brought that back into the UK, where if a fan would message me or show me respect, I would give them the time of the day as well, and I would make time to speak to them. If they need anything and I can help them, I'm there to help them. And then, like I said, the pressure that it taught me was, even if you were top of the league in Colombia and you lose one game, you couldn't basically leave your house for a few days.
Yeah.
So,
Is it that much pressure that they're so passionate about the team?
yeah, it's incredible. It's amazing in a way, but also scary, because if you lose a game when you're
You
top
don't
of the
want to lose.
league, it's carnage. So I was thinking, imagine if we're bottom of the league,
The ball.
we won't be able to complete the season.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, it just taught me a lot of respect and to value fans a bit more.
No, that's amazing. That's what it's about. It's about taking these experiences and bringing them with you along your journey. So you've obviously, again, you've been at a few clubs. You've experienced different countries, the way they coach. What would you say the difference is between the coaches in Colombia and the ones in the UK?
Things in Colombia were done differently in terms of. So in the UK, we train light on a Monday, and then you do like a hard session on Tuesday, and you're off either, then you say like at Port Vale, then you train Wednesday hard again, and then you're off on Thursday, and then obviously do match prep on Fridays, while in Colombia there's no days off.
So what? You're
They
just 6 days a week
You're training
or
every
seven?
day. You're basically in every day. Even Sundays, if you play a game on Saturday, you're in on Sunday.
Mm,
Then you're back in to do like a recovery session on Sunday. Then you're training on Monday. And the things they did differently, obviously, when there was a gym session, what they did, they used to beast you before training
mm,
in the gym, whether it's legs or upper body. And all the running we did was done before the training session. And then you go into the training session. So they basically tie you up before training to see if you
mm,
can remain focused through the training session for all the technical work.
mm, mm,
And obviously in the UK, that's when I was playing then. And sometimes they'll make us train with so you're doing 5v5 with weighted vests, like
mm.
gym vests that you would put
Yeah,
on you
yeah,
to do like
yeah,
pull-ups.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they'll put them vest on you and then you're doing 5v5s with them on. So
You'll be shattered.
you're shattered. So then when it goes to
Mm,
other things, then you are tired, but then it's to how you can remain focused during fatigue while you're fatigued.
mm, mm,
So it's different, man. Obviously, it's a whole.
mm,
Obviously, Colombia. Even though I'm born in Colombia and that, playing out there, you get to see how fans live, how things are done
mm,
differently, and I learned a lot. And that's why now, when I came back to the UK, uh, I've enjoyed. I've always enjoyed football, but because of the amount of
mm,
pressure you play with out there,
mm.
it made me realize that the football in the UK is actually enjoyable. Obviously, you're going to get stick from fans, which is normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
are entitled to their own opinions, but I learned not to listen to good opinions and bad opinions.
Mm,
I just focus on
mm,
my own job. I know when I'm wrong. I
mm,
know when I've done well, and I don't need validation from anyone else like I used to.
mm. Yeah, man, it's a good mentality to have because a lot of people sometimes they take on the good opinions from people, but then sometimes that overshadows everything, and it's like becomes a facade where you got to find a balance. You know what I mean? Take the good with the bad, or do you know what I mean? Which is important. Which is important. So by the sounds of it, you're doing your mental strength has grown so much. Obviously, I've known you when you was younger to where you are now, and you've matured so much through your journey, and obviously what you've gone through has made you more resilient and more focused on what you want to do. So it's amazing to see, bro. Amazing to see, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
So two questions now. Who was the toughest opponent you've played against, and who would you say is the best player you've played with? The
I'll
toughest
say,
one I can kind of guess because you played against Man City recently, or is
yeah,
that
no,
not true?
no, it's true.
Yeah, was who was. But to be fair, though, to be fair, you didn't have too much of a bad time against Morris. You had him in your back pocket. I think he's still there.
Nah, but to be fair, I'll go back. My toughest opponent that I played against, yeah, he's
Mm,
got to be when I was still a youth team player,
mhm,
playing for the reserves at West Ham, playing
mhm,
against Chelsea, and I was playing up front at the time,
mhm.
and I had to come up against Alex, the Brazilian
Oh,
centre back,
centre back. Yeah, I remember him. He was
and
a unit as well.
he was obviously little me at the time. I've always been
Mm,
skinny,
mhm. Yeah,
and boy,
we know. We
every
know.
time, not even that, but every time he even run past me or close me down, he
Mm,
didn't even have to touch me to move me off the ball. That's how bad he was.
mm,
He was strong. I'll say
mm,
he's the toughest opponent I've played against.
mhm.
And best player I've played with, you're not gonna believe this, but it was at Bristol Rovers. where
Okay.
I played with Billy Bowden. Don't know if you
Okay.
know
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. 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 I met him a
He's
few times with you.
yeah, him, bro. The guy is unreal, to be fair.
Is
And
is he still playing? Is he still
yeah,
playing now?
he's at Preston now.
Oh, he's a person. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he's probably the best player I've played with.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Even though
So
I played
obviously
with
you
a lot of good
mentioned.
players.
Yeah, I was going to say you've played it with a few. I'm sure at
Yeah,
West Ham you had a few good players there as well.
I played with a very good players. But obviously at West Ham it was mainly pre-season games, like and I was
Mm,
obviously Mark Noble, class,
mm,
like
mm,
the way he reads the game, and back then the way he was reading the game and
mm,
his ability on the ball was unreal. Like his vision was different class. You get me? But playing a
mm,
competitive
mm.
game, I would say Billy Bowden, bro.
Billy Bowden, yeah.
He's different gravy, mate.
Yeah, no, to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting him. But yeah, no, you've played with him, so you would know more. But going back to the Man City game, how was that in terms of the club for Port Vale, for you, your family, being able to play at Etihad as well against arguably one of the best teams in the world?
You know what? Yeah, when I was at home watching the FA Cup draw,
Mm,
I was having my dinner in the front room. Obviously, normally we
mm,
would be on a table and that. So I'm saying my
mm.
missus, and then she was like, "I bet you £10 you're gonna get Man City," and I was like, "There's no chance we're gonna get Man City out of all them teams. You think we're gonna get the champions of England? No chance."
Mm,
And obviously,
mm.
when it came out, I was just speechless. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to
Oh,
do.
mm,
Instantly, I was thinking, "Oh my god, Raheem
mm,
Sterling."
mm.
Because obviously now
Yeah,
I play fullback. You get me, left back. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna have to play against Raheem Sterling or Mahrez.
Mm,
Oh my god, here we go.
mm.
So I started watching videos of them too. Even though I watch all their games and that when they play,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was
So
thinking,
you were studying them.
if I play against Sterling, Jesus, he's gonna
Mm,
run me down the line.
mm,
Obviously, he's got no tricks on that, but he's rapid.
mm,
So, boy,
mm.
my hamstrings better be prepared for the for the workout. And then I was thinking, but then if I play against Mahrez, he's gonna chop the life out of me.
Yeah,
He's
he's
gonna
tricky. He's a tricky
he's
one.
gonna tap me inside out. There's-
Mm.
so I don't know what to do.
But
But then
to be fair, he didn't.
but that's what I'm saying. So after went through that phase where I found out we're playing Man City,
Mm,
and then obviously a week later, I thought, all right, then I just got to focus on the games now, like our league. And then obviously
mm,
The Man City game came round, and it was amazing. Obviously for the fans, it was a big day out for them, especially
mm,
after what Port Vale. Since I've been at Port Vale the last 2 years, we've not had
mm,
a great memory. 2 seasons in a row, we've fought
mm,
relegation twice, and then this
mm,
season to be in a position we're in now, obviously eighth in the league, and then
mm,
playing well as a team and individually, I've been very happy with my performances. I thought I'm just going to
mm,
go into the Man City game myself and just enjoy the occasion. I'm not going to care who I'm
mm,
playing against. I'm not going to care about the badge. I'm not going to care about the name behind like, on the back. I'm playing against human
mm.
beings. Obviously, the
Yeah,
difference is
yeah,
they play in a different league and they earn a lot more than
yeah,
us,
yeah,
but they're still
mm,
humans.
yeah,
So I'm going
mm,
to focus on what I'm good at and do what I've been doing
mm,
in our league and take it into that game. And that's what I've done. And obviously for my family, it was amazing because obviously you as a player, you always want to play at the highest level possible or against the biggest
mm,
teams. And to be playing against Man City at the Etihad and having, obviously I would have loved my mum to be there. She couldn't because
mm,
she's in Colombia. But having
mm,
my missus there who's been for me through a lot, through thick and thin, and then
mm,
having my
mm,
one of my kids there, Nico, who's the youngest.
mm,
I would have wished that Christian was there as well, my older son, but he weren't.
mm.
But it was just amazing
Yeah,
to just have my missus, her family, my little boy,
mm,
being able to experience what I was experiencing as well, but from a different
Mm.
perspective. They were watching the game, so they had the same buzz as me, and it's amazing. It was just an experience that will stay with me for the rest of my life. And so
Yeah, I can
obviously
imagine.
when I remember that in the game, I was enjoying it, I was getting tired, and then I see Morris coming on, I was thinking, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm tired. And this guy just comes on
Mm.
and Mr. I'm gonna get chopped, chop suey,
Mm.
soy
Mm.
sauce,
Yeah.
sweet and sour.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, but to be fair, I stayed composed every time I had the ball. And there was one time he tried
Mm.
to take me down the line. I just thought I'm gonna have to stay as calm as I can here and just try and
Mm.
over exaggerate him onto his right foot. And that's what I did. And
Mm.
then when he tried to chop back into his left foot, I was able to
Mm.
put the no entry sign on.
Yeah, no, you done well, mate. To be honest with you, I was on the edge of my seat just watching the game, and to be honest with you, you look comfortable. You look comfortable in the game throughout the whole game. You didn't look out of place one bit. Obviously, the result it didn't go you guys' way, but you got that goal, and yeah, it's in terms of your own personal performance, you look comfortable. You definitely look comfortable.
Yeah, I think it was obviously due to the way not that I prepared myself differently to that game. It's just how I've been preparing
Mm,
myself throughout the whole season, really, which then allowed
mm,
me to
mm,
take that game and treat it like any other game. The occasion was big for myself, my teammates, the fans, my family, the club.
mm,
But then it was just another game that
mm,
if
mm.
we won, it would have been a shock in the country
Yeah.
and for us.
Mm,
But if we lost, we had basically nothing to lose. So it was more about
yeah.
enjoying the
Yeah.
game
Mm,
and make ourselves proud, make the club proud
yeah.
and the fans, our families. And that's what I just went into the game like. And I just
Yeah, which
enjoyed that occasion.
you did. The whole club done that. They literally a lot of people probably have never heard of Port Vale, and especially like abroad. Definitely, there's been a lot of people watching Man City, and they would have seen Port Vale. So,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
but
Like the club got put, like, even though Portvilles is a big club, but obviously the league we're
mm,
playing in, not a lot of
mm,
people will talk about us worldwide. But after that game, I
mm,
had people that I've not even spoken to before, or even people that I knew of, messaging me about the club, saying what a good team we
mm,
are and whatnot, because how we
yeah,
played against Man City. Like, yes, we lost. I think it was 4-1, but then
mm,
again, three of the goals were given by VAR.
mm, mm,
so,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it was a big
No, you done
day.
well.
It was a big day for everyone, and the club was in the eye of a lot of people that are watching Man City,
Mm,
basically, because a lot of people would have watched the game
mm,
just based on it's Man
Man City,
City.
yeah,
The game
yeah,
gets
yeah, yeah.
Man City games get streamed worldwide.
Mm, mm.
So then to be us who were playing against Man City that day and to do as well as we did, and I did, it was amazing.
No, it was amazing, man. So we all know that football's it's a short game in terms of the lifespan. Have you ever thought about what you would do after football?
Yeah, I've got a few things in mind. Obviously, I've been since obviously because of what I went through in my life, I struggled with my mental health. You get me? So
Mhm.
since I overcame that, I've been now helping people that have had similar issues as me or different issues that are affecting their mental health. And
Mm.
I would like to go down that route, maybe like into counseling. That's something I thought about. But then there's little other things that are in my mind, like coaching,
Mhm.
um, even plumber. But
Plumbing.
yeah, like
That
different.
that that just come out of the blue. I was
Nah,
not expecting that.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Why,
there's a lot.
why plumbing though? What's the fascination?
I don't know. It's a real life world now, and like after
Mm,
football,
mm,
there's a lot of things you can go into. So I've just got to be prepared to go into something that maybe I've not even had experience in, and I've been looking into that as well. Like I know a guy
Okay.
who has a mate and he owns like a plumbing
Mhm.
company. So maybe one of these days I might give it a go in there for a day's work and see if I like it.
Mate, any fans will be shocked to see you walking through the door, mate. I'll tell you that. You'll be the
I
best fan
know
in the
'cause
world.
when I've told a few people about it, they're like, "Plumbing, are you sure?" It's like, "Yeah, I just want to
Mm,
give it a go and get a taste for what it's like, and maybe if I do like it, I will then do the course. If I don't like it, then I would look into something
mm,
else. But at the moment, I've got a few things I've not pinpoint what I really want to get into. I like to think
mm.
I've got another, hopefully, 5, 6, 7 years in the
Yeah.
game.
Mm,
So I'm trying to enjoy football as much as I can. While I'm also thinking and trying different things in the meantime to see what I really
mm,
enjoy.
mm. No, that's amazing, man. It's amazing, bro. Bro, thank you for your time, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time anymore, but I'm sure whoever's listening to this, they would have picked out a lot of things, and hopefully, it's inspired a lot of the young players that are coming through, and just be a bit more open about their feelings as well, because it's important to speak to the close ones.
Nah, thank you for having me, bro. And one thing is obviously if you ever are struggling with any type of issues that are affecting your mental health, be honest with yourself and find the courage to speak to anyone and not don't worry about what their response might be because one person that you might speak to would actually listen to you and would help you with whatever you're experiencing. And for those who are also listening, if anyone ever comes to you about any type of issue that they're experiencing, don't tell them to man up or grow up. Just
Mm,
take them
mm,
serious because whatever is little for you or stupid to you, to that person who came to you, it's not stupid. So just be sensible with what you say and
mm.
help them out. Just listen, encourage them, and keep them motivated.
No, that's amazing, man. It's amazing, and like you said, it might be an avenue that you might follow and might go into academies and speak to the younger generation. I think you've got a powerful story, bro. So yeah, respect to you and good luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully, the rest of the season will finish with what's happening. So
Hopefully
yeah,
it will,
man.
man. Thank you
Yeah,
for
we're
having me,
all
bro.
down for some
And
football right now.
have an amazing day and enjoy your day, bro.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon, bro.
All right. All right.
Bless up.